Kia ora te whānau, ko pere huri waisaga tēnei, back at it again for another yarn about the upcoming election. And in the lead up to the election, I'm going to be pumping out as much content as I can. I've got a new camera microphone set up here in our office in Ottawa, and the goal primarily, yes, reiterating the points around strategic voting, but also to work through the political jargon that's coming out from the politicians and the candidates so that you can make an informed vote, an informed decision come the election in November. Just try not to get distracted by my extremely cool hairstyle. Eyes over here, buddy. While doing some research on Takuta, Ferris and Mariamino Kapakingi and how those two impact the overhang strategy, I came across Takuta on this Queenstown-based podcast, and something the host said alarmed me and made me realize just how difficult a lot of this strategic voting corridor is to grasp. Have a listen.
Yeah, I suppose like for a lot of the kōrero that we've been having here lately is around strategic voting. Like if you're watching socials like Tania Waikato and all those cool wahine out there.
So Tania Waikato has not exactly been an advocate for strategic voting. Here's what she has to say about it.
Strategic voting, and I've been asked this over and over again by the haukāinga pehio whakaaro about the strategic voting. And do you think that we should be voting for a whole bunch of MPs to get an overhang, which is a kōrero that's being put out there by various people on social media? I've said to them straight up, if you select who you want to select as your candidate, then that is what you should be doing. And if you try to, I guess, rig the system or play the system by selecting someone that you don't necessarily believe in or you don't necessarily want to be your mangai and speak for you on behalf of your electorate, then kaya koe tērā, but don't come crying to me if you don't select me as your MP. I've done my job. You all asked me to put my hand up, and I've done that in very difficult circumstances, I might add. So if you do not make your choice this time round, do not come and moan to me. If I get in as a list MP for Te Pāti Kākāriki, then kaya rātou tōku waha. And I've made that very clear to our whānau back at home. If you want to try and play this strategic voting game, that's up to you.
That answer from Tanya is worse than I remember it. Strategic voting, as if it's a bad thing to be strategic, right? The strategy that Tanya Waikato is dismissing is the idea of maximizing our vote, the party vote and the electorate vote, to create as many seats as possible. That's the overhang strategy. Creating as many seats as possible for the centre-left bloc coalition, increasing their chance to have a majority so that they can form a government, so that we can change this government. The strategy is around prioritizing a change in government rather than simply having a particular individual in government, a particular individual who might sit in government in opposition because the centre-left bloc coalition doesn't have a majority to form a government. An individual, I should add, who is likely to enter government because of her high list ranking, if the polls are anything to go by. So it raises a very legitimate question for those of you in the Waiariki electorate to pose to Tania Waikato. Is her priority to change the government or to simply be in government? Two very different things. And then we've got people like this, messaging Tanya saying, yeah, I made the switch to the Māori role, and that's really cool, that's awesome. But then, talking to her about, hey, and I also want to try and trigger an overhang. It's like, oh, man. We've got a long way to go, whānau, but we will get there. Just believe, whānau, it's going to be okay. And to show how we're not yet all aligned on the strategy, here's Tākuta's perspective, which is the complete opposite to Tanya.
So here's Tākuta's gloves off, strategic vote. We have to maximise the Māori vote's potential to change the government. There's only one job that needs to be done, and it doesn't matter what colour does it. The job is a change of government. So we have to make sure that every available Māori vote counts towards changing a government. So that means we can't afford any wasted Māori votes. No. Not one.
Tautoko tō kōrero e Doc, e te tuakana, pautekaha tautoko tō kōrero, but again, the legitimate pātai that needs to be asked to Doc, is his strategy splitting from Te Pāti Māori and thus splitting the voter base of Te Pāti Māori between Te Pāti Māori and himself, which opens the door for the seat to return to the Labour Party, with the help, of course, of the Green Party candidate in Te Taitonga. Is that prioritising a change in government, or is this again prioritising having an individual in government, an individual who might sit in opposition in government without actually changing the government? Who can you trust? I don't know. But I am going to be doing my best, e te whānau, to bring you unbiased political information to help you make an informed decision come that election in November. Hope you enjoyed the watch. See you in the next one.